Hi everyone, welcome to the Gio Knows YouTube channel. I'm Gio, where I talk about betting on football. I'm dedicating the 2012-2013 NFL season as the year we take the man's money. Here are my picks. The first game we're going to look at has the Buffalo Bills going to New York to take on the Jets. The Jets are 3-point favorites at home. Buffalo really improved their defense in the offseason. They picked up two very good defensive ends, Mario Williams and Mark Anderson. That goes along with a pretty good offense, good running game, good passing game. The Jets, all they really did was pick up Tim Tebow, one of my favorite players, but they really didn't upgrade anywhere else. Now, Rex Ryan, who is their coach, is a defensive guru. But despite the fact that he's so good on defense, he still insists on drafting defenders with his first-round picks. He did that again this year, and he did that last year. He's sort of been neglecting the offense, and as a matter of fact, the Jets have regressed under Rex Ryan's tenure every year. I think that the Bills will actually win this game outright. So what we'll do is we'll take Buffalo +3. The second game we're going to look at has the New England Patriots, who lost the Super Bowl last year, going to Tennessee to take on the Titans, who are 6.5-point dogs at home. Now, New England has made some changes on both their lines. Their right tackle is switching over to the left side, and that's the more difficult position of the two, and they've lost guard Matt Light. That means that three different positions on the offensive line are going to be played by different players. They've also lost a couple of their defensive ends who went on to free agency, and they accounted for 20 of New England's 40 sacks. Now, they did draft two defenders with high first-round draft picks, or first-round draft picks anyways, but I don't think they're going to be as good as the two guys who left, at least not right away. So that means New England's defense, which was already really bad, is going to be even worse this year, in my opinion. That front four will be manhandled by Tennessee's very good offensive line. Head coach Mike Munchak is a Hall of Fame lineman, and so is the offensive line coach. I think that they're going to have their way with that front four, or 3-4, 4-3 hybrid that New England uses. Tennessee may even win this game straight up. If they don't, I still like the points. So let's take Tennessee +6.5. The third game we're going to look at has the Atlanta Falcons going to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs, who are 2.5-point dogs at home. Kansas City never really got it going last year. Its injuries ruined their season, but they're healthy now. They got rid of their brooding head coach Todd Haley and replaced him with Romeo Crennel late in the season. And under Crennel's leadership, they really played well. You remember, they're the only team that beat Green Bay Packers last year in regulation. Running back Jamal Charles is going to team up with free agent running back, fullback Peyton Hillis, who was injured last year because he was on the Madden cover and he got the curse, and those two are going to be a real two-headed monster for this team. Atlanta is a fast dome team. This game's being played outside on grass. Atlanta has a very good 1-2 punch at wide receiver with Roddy White and Julio Jones, or Julio Jones, however you pronounce it. But the Chiefs should counter with safety Eric Berry and Brandon Flowers at corner. I think Falcons running back Michael Turner is starting to lose some of his speed and won't be as effective, especially on the grass. I actually think Kansas City will win this game, and you get the points. So let's take Kansas City +2.5. And the fourth game we're going to look at has the Carolina Panthers going to Tampa Bay, where the Bucs are 2.5-point dogs. Now, this is a division game where the home team is getting the points. It's one of my favorite plays to do. I like it when there's a division game and the dog is the home team. They seem to cover more times than not. We all know what a remarkable year Cam Newton had last year. He was the Offensive Rookie of the Year, but you could almost expect a sophomore slump to happen to him this year. You know, defensive coordinators are very smart, and they have a full year of tape on the man, and they've had a long offseason to study it and to scheme on ways to stop him. So you look for Cam Newton to not have as good of a year in his second year. And Tampa Bay really improved. They went out and got wide receiver Vincent Jackson. He's going to be a really big target for quarterback Josh Freeman, who looks like he's trimmed down and is in really good shape again. They also picked up offensive guard Carl Nix, who they stole off of New Orleans roster, another division rival. 2 years ago, the Bucs were 10-6. Last year they were 4-12. Are they a 10-6 team? Probably not, but they're better than a 4-12 team. The Panthers swept Tampa Bay last year. That's probably not going to happen again. Actually, 5 of the 6 teams that Carolina beat last year had a combined winning record of 20-60. The other team, the one good team, was the Texans, who were really struggling at the time. The Texans lost the following week to the Colts. That gave the Colts their first win of the year. I think with the improvements that Tampa Bay has made, they should win this game outright. So let's take Tampa Bay plus 2.5. Here are my 4 over-under plays. The first game we're going to look at is Atlanta at Kansas City. We talked about that game earlier. The number's 42. I think Kansas City's defense should slow down Atlanta's offense, who are more used to playing in a fast dome. I think Kansas City will run the ball all day. Let's take under 42. The second game we'll look at, New England at Tennessee. We talked about that one earlier. This number is 48. New England could score 35 points and they could give up 35 points to any team. I think Vegas might be overestimating what those 2 first-round picks on defense are going to do for them. You'll never get New England at this low of a number again all year. So let's take over the 48. The third game we'll look at has Indianapolis going to Chicago, where that number is 42.5. This is the debut of Andrew Luck, and he catches a bit of a break because Chicago Bears defensive captain Brian Urlacher is a bit banged up. Chicago quarterback Jay Cutler has got a couple more weapons at his disposal this year. The Colts are switching from a 4-3 to a 3-4 defense, which I think is pretty stupid because they have 2 very good defensive ends, and now they're taking their best 2 defenders and making them learn a different position. I think Chicago will exploit that. So let's take over the 42.5. And the fourth game is Washington at New Orleans. That number's 49.5. RG3 makes his debut. We all know what New Orleans can do at home, putting up the points. If Washington's, if RG3 for Washington is half the quarterback that Cam Newton is, and I think he is, he'll put up a lot of points as well. So let's take over the 49.5. I think that makes 3 overs to 1 under. I don't think I've ever done that before. Here are my straight-up picks. We kick it off on Wednesday as Dallas goes to New York to take on the Super Bowl champion Giants. I think the Giants will win. Indianapolis is at Chicago. Let's take the Bears. Philadelphia is at Cleveland. We'll go with the Eagles here. Buffalo is at the New York Jets, and remember we talked about that one earlier. I like Buffalo in an upset. Washington's at New Orleans. The Saints better be careful, but I believe they'll win, so let's take the Saints. New England's at Tennessee. There's another game we talked about. I like the upset here. Let's take the Titans. Jacksonville is at Minnesota. The movable force meets the stoppable object. Well, let's take my Minnesota Vikings. Miami's at Houston. The Dolphins are in a lot of trouble this year. Let's take the Texans, who probably should be your suicide pick. Another good pick would be the next game. St. Louis is at Detroit. Take the Lions. Atlanta's at Kansas City. We talked about that one earlier. I like the Chiefs in what's probably going to be the best game of the week as San Francisco goes to Green Bay. Green Bay's tough at Lambeau. Let's take the Packers. Carolina's at Tampa Bay. Another game we talked about earlier. I like the Buccaneers. The Sunday nighter has Pittsburgh going to Denver in a bit of a grudge match for Pittsburgh. That's who beat them last year with Tim Tebow. Well, Tebow's been replaced with Peyton Manning. Could go either way. I like the Steelers in this game. The Monday nighter, there's two of them. Cincinnati is at Baltimore. Until the Bengals can prove that they can beat a playoff team, I'm not going to go with them. I'll take the Ravens in this game, and we ended up with San Diego at Oakland. Wow, a tough call, but I'll take the Raiders. Okay, so those are my picks. Thanks for watching this video, and good luck to you. I hope you subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And please click the like button if you like this video. For the Geo Knows channel, I am Geo. Let's take the man's money.